Okay.
Hello and welcome to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. The goal of our show is to highlight young people in our community along with local organizations who are striving to make Philadelphia a better place. We hope to introduce you to our next generation of community leaders. Today, we're focusing on group Teenshop. Their mission is to empower girls with goals to become caring, courageous leaders and change agents in their communities and beyond. They strive to help teenage girls of color build self-esteem and to achieve their goals. The nonprofit began in a Philadelphia church in 1985 and has grown with 3 Philadelphia chapters, a South Jersey chapter, and 5th chapter in Los Angeles, California. Here to tell us more about the group is Teenshop's creator, along with 2 leaders who are once Teenshop's girls themselves. Please welcome CEO and founder Eleanor Jean Henley, Executive Director of the Zion Teenshop Chapter, Shakir Brew, and Grace Teenshop Community Service Director, Rayanna Stewart. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Everybody's doing well?
Very well, thank you.
Tell us some more about Teenshop.
Well, let's see. Why I started, I guess, is a good place. I really started the program for exposure for girls of color. And Derek, when I was growing up, my dreams were limited.
Right.
And they were limited because you have to see it, then believe you can achieve it. So I never could have imagined that one day I would become an Emmy Award-winning broadcast journalist.
But you
because
did.
there were no women of color who looked like me in television news at that time. But once I got the opportunity to be a part of the business and started Teenshop, and I said, well, I'm going to use my platform
Right.
to provide exposure to girls who look like me so that they can dream big and without limitations. And so often, a lot of the guests that I would have on my City Lights program, which was a show that I hosted and produced, were women of color who were achievers.
Right.
And so the girls would see those images on television, and then often those same women that they would see me interviewing on my show, I could bring them to the Teenshop workshops, and then they could have very up close and personal conversations and get to know what their professional journeys were. So that was really the essence or the reason why I started Teenshop, to provide exposure to girls of color so they could dream without limitations.
That is great. That's a great story. Raina, what was your story?
My story, my mother enrolled me in Teenshop when I was about 14 years old. I didn't really want to start the program. There was another program that I was interested in, but as Ms. Henley always says, if your mother says you're gonna do it, then you're gonna do it. So I began the program. I was always a really shy kid, never wanted to talk. And it was the same way when I began Teenshop, but then as I got more comfortable with the officers and the girls, I started to open up. I really enjoyed going every other Saturday, seeing my friends in Teenshop, wondering what we were going to do for the workshops, what college tours we were going to go on. And then at the end of my first year, I was voted most outgoing,
Right.
which was a surprise for me, and I think my family as well, because I don't think previously that was something that they would have seen me achieving, just because I was so quiet and to myself. And even though my family knew that I was an amazing person, I think there was a part of me that needed to know that myself. And I think Teenshop really helped bring that out in me. And now I am the community service director for Grace Teenshop, which is the chapter I came up in. And I love going back every other Saturday, seeing the girls, watching them grow, watching them make friends, watching them learn things. It's really just a wonderful experience, and I can't imagine what my life would have turned out like without Teenshop.
Great. Shakira, what's your story?
So my grandfather's girlfriend actually ran my chapter, and I was kind of forced into it. They
That seems
said,
to be the common
Yeah.
story. Nobody wants to go,
I didn't know about
but they
it.
come back, right?
Yeah, see that?
Yeah, I honestly didn't know about it. They said, you're gonna go to this workshop every other Saturday, and when my mom couldn't take me, she would come pick me up, so I really had no choice.
Wow.
Very shy, like Raina said, did not like public speaking at all, but through Teenshop, I was actually forced to do so. with our every workshop we have to do our introductions.
Right.
Say your name, your age, the school you attend, and your career goal. And by doing that every workshop, I was actually able to better my public speaking skills, and then eventually was able to provide speeches and be called to do events like this
Right.
on the spot.
Nice.
And I didn't write their scripts either.
That's good. So you began the program. How has it grown since its inception?
Well, you know, the funny thing is I never planned for it to grow. I always say that Teen Shop is God's plan. I mean it.
Right.
And when it's God's plan, your plan doesn't matter.
That's right.
And I had just simply started it, you know, as my contribution, if you will, to my former church home. But then the inquiries from, you know, parents who had maybe relatives who had eligible daughters who lived in other parts of the city. And so they would inquire about starting a chapter here, starting a
Right,
chapter
right.
there, which was never part of my plan. But after a while, you know, when the inquiries just kept coming, then it looked like, you know, you're going to have to do this.
Yep.
So I took my time, you know, to write the curriculum and put all the kinds of pieces in place when you're building an organization, because when I started it, it was a club. But it did had to evolve into an organization, which is a whole other story. But anyway, once it did become an organization with chapters, then there were incredible women, you know,
Yes.
who are always going to be your support, and who willingly joined me on this journey to help, we say, help other mothers raise their daughters in a part of the village. So now we have the 5 chapters, and each chapter is led by a 5 volunteer team of career women, you know, including young women like these,
Right.
and who just make this extraordinary commitment. So I have, you know, I continue to be amazed by what's happening, but, you know, it's all about the girls, and I think
Yes.
that these 2 young women are just an excellent example of what we try to do in terms of empowering girls and, you know, building their confidence. And we're very proud that we have 100% college acceptance.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
that is,
huge.
that's really nice. And there have been more than 3,000 girls enrolled over with 35 years coming up in June, Derek.
35?
35 years, yes. So you know, we feel good about what we've been able to do, but you know, it is that village.
Yes.
And when you talk about mothers, and you know, Raina's mother and Shakira's, you know, family, it's the mothers too who've just felt that Teen Shop was the organization they wanted to partner with.
Right. Now, I know you target young women,
Yes.
so give me an idea of exactly, is there age range?
Yes, 13 to 18 are
Okay.
full-time students who are not teen parents. That's the basic eligibility. And our girls come from, what we say, all zip codes.
Yep.
And we say it doesn't matter where you come from, it's where you want to go.
Great.
And so we will help you on that path, you know, to make sure that you're able to achieve your goals.
Shakira, what made you come back?
Good question. I love Teen Shop. So from the way that I was as that shy kid that didn't want to talk to anyone and had social anxiety in certain aspects, to being the outgoing and leader that
Right.
Teen Shop molded me into, I always knew that I wanted to come back in some form or aspect. I just wasn't sure that it was going to be necessarily in an officer or a leadership position. I just said I wanted to come back and volunteer.
Period, yeah. And they sucked you in. Right?
And I kind of got roped in. I was kind of like voluntold into
That's
a
right.
leadership position. as
Now
I
that
like
you're
to say.
here.
But I love it.
That's great.
Every day I get to interact with the girls and help to see them. When I see them grow from the way they came in, I basically see a mirror image of myself as they're coming into workshops and being able to pull that out of them. I tell them, I was in your seat. I know exactly what you're going through. Your situation may be a little bit different because the world is a different place than what it was when I was in Teen Shop. However, our experiences are similar. So how can I help you get to this next step? What is it that you need from me? I am kind of like your sister
Right.
that can help you and guide you through. So it's very
Raina,
rewarding.
What made you come back?
Well, I remember when I started my college career, I actually started at Hampton University
Nice.
in Virginia, but I ended up transferring to Temple for my sophomore year.
Not LaSalle?
No, unfortunately not. I do have a cousin that goes here, though, and she loves it.
All right, that's
But I transferred to Temple University, and my leadership my executive director, Tasha Samuel, she actually invited me to come and sit down in a workshop and just meet the new girls. And I came and I really connected with the girls. I enjoyed watching them and helping them. So I decided to come back the next weekend and the next weekend. And I just never stopped coming back. So I became a permanent volunteer. They kind of carved out a space for me. I wasn't an official officer, but I did try to make it to as many workshops as I could because I know the girls were looking forward to me being there. I feel like it always kind of helps to have someone closer to their age to kind of talk to them about certain things. I'm 24 years old myself. Most of the women in our officer positions are older, have more life experience. Right. And of course, teenagers don't always want to listen to adults. So I feel like me being there kind of helped a little bit to get them to understand that what they were learning will really apply to you and will really help you. So I just keep coming back because I love, as I said before, seeing the girls learn and just, they're so wonderful. They make me laugh. Listening to them just brings me joy, hearing how their days at school went, whether it was good or bad, or hearing new activities or new things that they're learning, trips that they're taking. Right. It's just wonderful to be a part of their lives in that way and just watch them grow and become young women.
So the name of the show is Featured Leaders in Philadelphia. How has Teenshop helped you become a leader?
How has Teenshop helped me become a leader? I feel like, honestly, Teenshop really shaped who I am today. It taught me about public speaking. It taught me about being confident and being proud of who I am, a proud African-American woman. And to be honest, a lot of those things I didn't have before Teenshop. I was very shy, I was very insecure, bullied a lot in middle school and high school, and because of that I had a lot of insecurities about myself, but going to Teenshop made me feel confident, and it made me feel special and gave me, you know, the security that I knew that I was going to be a great person, and with these people behind me and supporting me, it really gave me that boost to excel and really go for things I never thought I would go for before. Miss Henley, too, has been a great mentor to me, and she's always bringing me to events like this for public speaking. Nice. I know she had me before. We talked about our Shoes for Life event on Fox 29 on Good Day Philadelphia, which is something I never imagined myself doing, even as a journalism major at Temple. Right. But Miss Henley and Teenshop have exposed us so many different wonderful experiences that I would have never otherwise had. So that's how it's helped me grow personally.
Great. Shakira, how has Teenshop helped you become a leader?
Teenshop has helped me become a leader by giving me those opportunities while I was in Teenshop. So being a mentor to up and coming girls as they're coming into the chapter, helping them to understand the Teenshop way. So whether it's teaching them how to do the introductions or understanding what our responsibilities were, and actually giving me those responsibilities when I was a member of the hospitality committee that we had. So yeah, it's definitely given me the tools that I think are necessary, and by giving me those opportunities to lead by example, and then now being able to still lead by example.
Great. So we're going to take a break. I want to thank you all for coming on and sharing your stories.
Thank you, our pleasure.
When we come back, we'll meet some of the students involved with Teenshop's program. Please stay with us.
Wake each morning and get lost in the adventure, knowing that you will be ready for wherever the day takes you. Learn from those willing to teach. Their wisdom and their strength will become yours. They will impart to you a tradition of education nationally recognized for its value. A tradition worthy of your best efforts. As young men and women of LaSalle, we will invest in you the guidance to blaze your own path, to go forth into the unknown with new certainty, to realize your full potential as professionals, as leaders, as citizens. To take up your place as the accountants, speech therapists, journalists, and CEOs of your generation to impact this city and the world beyond. These adventures are yours, and you are ready for them. Explorers are never lost.
Welcome back to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. Today we're featuring the nonprofit Teenshop, an enrichment program for girls that focuses on life skills, workshops, college prep initiatives, and community service projects. We began our show talking with some of the leaders of the organization. Now it's time to meet some of the young women involved with Teenshop's work group and programs. Please welcome our Teenshop ambassadors, Alicia Holland, Avena Thompson, and Mariah Bay. Welcome to Teenshop.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Tell us how you got involved in Teenshop.
Well, it started really with my mom. So before Teenshop, I actually do dance every Saturday. And then I stopped going because, school started to come up. And then when I start school, I worry about, I got dance today.
Right.
So then I have to do that. I have to study on Saturday because I got a test coming up. But then I stopped doing dance once I hit freshman year. So then my mom was like, do you feel like you're getting bored on the weekends? And I'm like, yes, sometimes. So then one night, it's just, I don't know, she was like, I found this nice group. It's a girls group called Teenshop. And I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, I think you will really enjoy it. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. And my first time, I was scared. I didn't really know what to expect at Teenshop. But over the years, it was really nice, and I'm glad I went.
Alicia, how did you get involved?
I got involved actually through my cousin. So she is a chapter leader at Teenshop, and she sent a text message to my sisters. I have this great program for Avi. I know she has her Saturdays busy, but she'll make time for this program. So my sister sent me the link, and I actually went on Teenshop's website and did a little investigation. I was like, you know what, this is something I'm interested in. So I joined Teenshop. I've been there, 3 years now.
3 years.
I joined in 10th grade. And at the beginning, like she said, Teenshop, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I really, really have, found a bond and a sisterhood with Teenshop, and I'm really glad that I joined.
Bria?
Okay, so before Teenshop, like she said, I did a lot of activities, but I felt really ill, which I am still now, which made me had to quit everything I had to do. I did gymnastics. I was always really active. I was a cheerleader. And once I fell ill, I had to give all that up, which hurt me really badly, because I'm never a really person that likes to stay indoors. And my mom found Teenshop on her own. Actually, her and my grandma went searching for a program for me because they saw I was getting depressed from staying indoors and not be able to do much because I was sick. And when I joined Teenshop, it was probably like the best decision I made because I've been here for 4 years now.
Great.
So, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, and I don't regret a single moment.
So, unlike the people before us, you wanted to join Teenshop, right?
Yes.
All right, that's a good thing. So what are some of the favorite activities that you perform or participate in while at Teenshop?
My favorite is definitely planning this party for little kids, the Christmas party, because, I can't speak, but I love the kids. I love little kids, and I just love seeing them smile and run around. Another is Shoes for Life, and I like how we get to help others get shoes that they cannot afford, so I think that was a really nice idea. And I really don't do much charity, so this was really good for me to learn more about.
Right.
And it was really fun to do as well, because at first I'm like, this is going to be so boring, but this is really fun to do. So I definitely love the party and Shoes for Life.
Great.
Just to piggyback off of what she said, I love Shoes for Life event. It's a great opportunity right at think it's close by Temple. We have doctors come in and they
Yep.
give exams to people who don't have shoes, free foot exams. Then also I really like the college tours. I have so many memories from those, just going around campuses. And then a lot of our Teen Shop chapter members actually wound up joining the colleges that we go to. Like we have a few
Nice.
who went to Rider's University, a few who went to Millersville, for example. And I think at the end of the year, they do a trip for seniors to go to one college to spend the night for some older Teen Shop members to gain exposure and knowledge for the campus.
Right. Did it help you decide what college you want to go to?
Yeah, it did.
Great.
For me, it was the children's holiday party. I think it was this year, last year, when we threw a party and we all was crying because this one mom couldn't afford her kids to get Christmas presents. And when she saw all the presents that we got for her kids, she just downed herself in tears,
Right.
which made all of us cry because it was just so good. It made me feel so good as a person that I'm helping make a difference in not just my life, but someone else's life.
Right.
Also the college tours, even though the colleges that we went to didn't have what I was interested in, it also made me like want to explore a lot, which is why I go to Penn State almost every summer for a couple of weeks or like a month
Right.
for the deaf of hard of hearing program, and I take classes there. I'm enrolled as a student, and I get to see what college life is like really like on a daily basis. The main thing I love is the Shoes for Life event because it's also much fun because it's a competition for all chapters. It's sad that Zion didn't win this year, but we will beat again. So yeah.
Yeah, that Shoes for Life seems like the main thing.
It is. It's
Very
probably, like,
competitive.
very.
Yeah, we have so many shoes that we donated. I would say at least
Like over 10,000 pairs.
Wow.
so many pairs.
And that's like within one chapter.
Any men's shoes?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
good. I'm about to
We
get
have
a pair.
men's,
All right.
kids,
Yes.
women's,
All
anything,
sizes.
shoes.
All right.
We do prom for girls who can afford prom shoes, and also
Nice.
prom dresses. We do have a prom section that the girls can go to if they have prom coming up, so that way their parents won't have to spend so much money on like the dress and the
Right.
shoes. Which recently gets some friends that she knows from ABC News to donate some shoes or dresses that they have that they don't use anymore.
So what would you say are some of the skills that you've learned from being part of Teen Shop?
Teen Shop has definitely helped me with my communication skills. When I first started, I was really nervous. And I wouldn't necessarily say shy, but I was reserved. So it took me a while to open up to people. But with Teen Shop, like she said, you have to step out of your comfort zone and you really get a chance to build a friendship with the girls around you and a sisterhood and a bond. So having that support really helped me to break out of my shell.
Great.
For me, I was never a really indoor person. Like, I was very outdoorsy. I'm an outgoing person. My first day, I was already making friends left and right. It also taught me like to be myself because I was always messed with from kindergarten to 7th grade. So I always thought I never fit in. But once I got the Teen Shop, they accepted me as like I was one of their own. And that was like my first day there. And I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel pressured into anything. The only time they would pressure me is when I had to communicate, which
Right.
is
That's right.
the exact reason why I'm able to talk to you right
It's
now.
very important. Very good.
I agree with these two when they say communication because outside, there's a difference when I'm outside of school and inside of school. So inside of school, I'm quiet and, I'm ready to learn. Outside, I'm just loud and crazy, but there was never, I don't want to say I never talk properly, and I
Yes.
have, but there are times I get nervous on what I want to say, or I'm scared to speak my mind because others might judge me. But when I went to Teen Shop, you could just, speak your mind about what's happened today, what's happened at school, family related, because I can never feel afraid no more to speak my mind. So they taught me that.
We have something called Sister Circle where every other Saturday when we meet, we sit around in a circle and we usually have a leader. We just talk about current events, how our week was going, what do we enjoy, what do we dislike, and that's just our time to bond and share with each other before we actually start our workshop.
And Sister Circle is one of the moments where we can put in about what we had done, and you either win Teen of the Month or Scholar of it was something like that.
Report card.
Yes, with the
Yes.
report card, and if you done good, I won Teen of the Month I think 4 times.
4? Wow.
So yeah.
MVP, huh?
Got MVP here.
So this is Future Leaders of Philadelphia, and you 3 are future leaders. What one leadership skill have you learned from Teenshop?
Hard work.
Hard work?
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. See, there are going to be times when I can't rely on others to do work for me.
Right.
So Teenshop has taught me like being independent is very important. So hard work for me is very good to me because it helps me get a lot of work done, and I don't have to worry about what that person's doing when I could just do it myself. So I think that's a really good thing for me to learn now, especially going on to the 10th grade.
Right.
So that's very important for me.
And what college are you going to?
Clark Atlanta or
Clark
North Carolina
Atlanta.
A&T. Yeah.
I would say Teenshop has helped me with networking. I find that connections, the
Yeah.
connections you make and who you surround yourself with. My dad always says iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So with Teenshop, I found like a lot of girls who are interested in the same things as me. I want to be dermatologist soon one day. So I found people who are interested in medicine and skincare, and also have sisters there who want to be graphic designers, and
Right.
we all share common goals. So having that network, I know when I step outside of Teenshop, like for example, the alumni is coming back, I'll have people there to support me.
Great.
For me, they taught me teamwork. Like, teamwork makes the dream work. So, I've always been that person that did things on my own. I'm a very independent person. I'm always the one, in the household taking care of things. So when I came to Teenshop, they taught me, well, Miss Shakira, who I've grown up with, she's like my second mother. She taught me teamwork is the one thing that can bring everyone together, because you don't always want to be alone in certain situations. Right. You always want at least someone there behind you, supporting you. They also showed me that you could be independent, but just make sure that while you're being independent, that you know what you want, and that you know that who you have behind you is making you get to that independent state.
Great. Well, I want to thank you all for coming on the show, and I'm looking forward to the great things you do in the future as future leaders.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. I'd like to thank my guests from Teenshop. If you would like to find out more about this group, please visit their website at teenshop.org. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. Thank you for watching Future Leaders in Philadelphia, where we believe investing in our youth is investing in our future.